Sage.
I'm Andrew Smith. And we've got a great question for people today.
We have a great question. We had a question actually come into us.
Yes.
It was so exciting. So if you have questions, send them in and we'll do a video like this.
Exactly.
As serious as possible.
We are answering a question right here. The question was, my foreclosure date is in 2 weeks. Can I still do a short sale?
Absolutely, we can try to do anything.
We can try.
Up to an hour before we can try, but we can't guarantee it.
That's a huge thing there. We cannot guarantee it.
Thank you. In the video.
In the video. We cannot guarantee that is going to be successful, but can you try and do a short sale? The answer is yes and maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not trying to be funny there, but the bottom line is it really depends on what took place in all of the months prior to getting you to this point. So, you know, were you trying to do a loan modification and it wasn't working out and you're trying and trying and trying and you made trial payments and you're all the way up and now all of a sudden, you know, this modification that you thought you were going to get, you didn't get, and now your sale date's only a couple weeks away? Yeah, there's a good chance that we might be able to get something done there. If you've had your head buried in the sand or somewhere else and just been ignoring the entire problem,
if it was somewhere else, they're probably not ignoring.
Or ignoring something. For months and months and months and months and months. And now all of a sudden you're like, you know what, we got another notice here, we should really consider doing something. And you've had zero contact with your lender, you haven't talked out any workout options, and your loan is Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, then you're pretty much done.
Yeah,
that goose would be cooked.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a real nice phrase. You know, it goes, how many times have I said the phrase humanize this in our videos? But if you really humanize this, if you borrow the money from grandma and you didn't talk to grandma for a year and a half.
And we're not talking senile grandma.
No, I'm talking grandma with some bank, who's
Exactly.
the bank, who's really sharp, who knows what's going on, is following the market, and you haven't contacted grandma in, say, a year, and then all of a sudden, you get this notice that they're foreclosing, and you wait 2 weeks prior to that foreclosure, and then you call grandma and go, hey, you know, Grams, I really miss you, I'm really sorry, but like, can we stop this? Odds are grandma's going to flip you the bird, okay? Odds are.
Exactly.
So it can be done. And I know your team and my team, we've done some amazing things by pure chance, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Not because we're amazing people. Well, I think you're amazing, and sometimes you think I'm crazy. But the point is that
I always think you're crazy.
sometimes amazing things do happen. We have had them where it's been 24 hours prior to foreclosure, where we've had the ability to stop the foreclosure.
Right.
It's a boatload of work. It's a full day of our full team concentrating on that one file for the most part, and it's still, your chances are probably only about 10%.
Exactly, and like we said, again, it really comes down to the story in which we're telling them. So it's got to be compelling, and there's got to be a reason on why a sale wasn't started sooner. Because if you go back, you know, a year or so, it used to be the case, and the reason a lot of these rules changed is someone would not do anything, and the idea would be that if the bank didn't have to foreclose and a short sale could take place, then they would postpone the sale date.
Right.
Well, magically enough, what they found was happening is probably some of the same agents that are now working with the investors and, you know, taking title to people's homes, and I think we've covered that, a whole other story there. But a lot of those same people, at the 11th hour, they're magically coming up with a contract, and John Doe is buying the house for full price.
I understand John Doe's written a lot of offers.
A lot of offers. And all of a sudden, that gets sent in. The bank goes, okay, we've got a legitimate sale here. Let's go ahead and postpone the sale date. They go through the process. You start sending in information. Da-da-da-da-da. John Doe doesn't exist. And then you got to tell the bank, oh, you know what?
The
buyer fell
walked.
out.
Yeah.
Buyer walked. Well, all that basically did was extended the losses of the bank a few more months, and it bought the people in the house a few more months. Yeah. I'm all for buying people as much time as they need.
Absolutely, yeah.
But again, they have to be proactive and part of the solution, not just sit out there expecting all of this to get taken care of. Then the bank's going to bend over backwards. So again, it really depends on the situation. Because of what I just explained, Fannie Mae themselves put in a rule that says if you're more than 12 months past due on your payment, we are probably only going to postpone the foreclosure once.
One time.
If at all.
Right.
And if you don't get it done in that time frame, too bad. You should have started sooner.
Right.
You know, then it's like, Oh, well, you know, that's not fair. The bank's not fair. Well, you know, you're juggling a live stick of dynamite. What do you think? It's going to not blow up in your face at some point in time?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not a huge advocate for the banks. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
not at all.
I'm all about equality. I'm all about the fact that if we can make a deal happen and both sides win, then we're in great shape. I'm so tired of hearing from people, you know, it's the bank's fault. It's the bank's fault. The bank's the bad guy. The bank's the bad guy. And sometimes, you know what? The bank is the bad guy.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. You know, they're dealing with millions of files on a daily basis. Things are going to fall through the cracks. But I never hear that same person that says, the bank's the bad guy, the bank's the bad guy, ever say to me, man, they put a gun to my head and made me take this money 4 years ago and buy this home.
Right.
No. When you hear that story, it's like, man, we really had to have this house. We bought this house because blah, blah, blah. And we were so grateful to get this money. Matter of fact, some people I know even sent gifts to their real estate agents and to the loan officer for helping them get this loan. Now it's, all you SOBs got me in trouble. We're not the one that didn't make the mortgage payment.
Exactly.
We're not the one that went out and refinanced and bought a boat and an RV and went on vacation for 3 months. Okay? And we do see that quite often. My heart goes out for those people that have tried and tried and tried to stop this foreclosure, and then they're just at the end of the road where the bank's not wanting to help them in any way, shape, or form. You have a much higher possibility of having that foreclosure postponed 2 weeks prior to the trustee sale or that foreclosure if you are the person I just explained that you've tried and you're doing everything you can and you're jumping through all the hoops for asking you to jump through, which some are ridiculous. Send me updated financials. I did on Monday. Well, today's Wednesday. We don't have them. Okay, send them again. You know, and I have clients that are sending stuff 2 and 3 times a week.
Right.
Bottom line, let's wrap this up because, you know, I don't want them. A couple of videos I got really angry. In this video I don't want to get teary-eyed because it really does jerk at my heartstring, the fact that there are people out there that are trying really hard to do the right thing and the bank isn't coming through. I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, we need to know the story from beginning to where they're at now.
Right.
But those people for the most part are being given an extension. Those that have just ignored the situation and blown it off until the 11th hour, their possibility of avoiding foreclosure is really slim.
It is, and I'm right there with you. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I meet with, and you know, you've got the parents there in tears, the kids are running around, they don't want to lose the house means everything to them, and they're in a situation whereby, you know, they lost a job, there was an illness, somebody got hurt, there was expenses that weren't planned for, and it's tough out there.
Yeah.
Times are hard, and they truly got into a bad situation. All we're going to try and do at that point is do everything possible to make the best of a bad situation. We might not be able to save the house that you're in currently, but at least we can try and get on your way so that you've got a bit of a brighter future than you had before. Plus, for most people, it can bring some finality to it.
Yeah.
You know, living in limbo time after time, not knowing where you're going, doesn't do anyone any good. So there are options out there. Never think it's too late. Contact an agent in your area that knows what they're talking about and see if they'll walk through the options with you. And then, you know, if someone's not willing to jump through the hoops, find somebody else or give us a call. We can find you find someone in your area, or if you're anywhere near us, we can do it for you. So again, you can find us online, www.s2neg.com. We'd love your feedback, we'd love your comments, we'd love your questions.
Yeah, thank you for the question that came in. It gave us a great topic to talk about. So keep those coming. We want to make sure we answer everyone's question as thorough as possible.
See you next time.